McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Lean CEO, Leading the Way to World-Class Excellence, written by Jacob Stoller, narrated by Jim Tedder. Forward by Daniel P. Malloy, Governor, State of Connecticut. When I finished law school in 1980 and began my career as a district attorney, the lean movement was just starting to reach public consciousness in the United States. The wake-up call for many of us was NBC's documentary, If Japan Can, Why Can't We?, which chronicled how Japan, led by Toyota, was overtaking the United States as an industrial power. Although the management philosophy was not identified as lean until a decade later, it was clear that there was a systematic approach behind Japan's commercial success that was radically different from what the business community was practicing in the United States. Those watching the broadcast were probably surprised to learn that many of Japan's secrets came from W. Edwards Deming, an American who had been all but ignored in this country. Deming had traveled to Japan as a consultant, assisting Douglas MacArthur's post-World War II reconstruction efforts, and by the 1960s he was a national hero there. Throughout the 1980s, signs of lean management began surfacing in our industrial sector, including the use of methods such as total quality management, TQM, and just-in-time, JIT. By the 1990s, a small group of American companies had begun to use the Toyota Production System, TPS, which became the prototype for lean. What many didn't realize was that this new approach was much more than a set of shop floor methods. It represented a reinvention of the way companies manage all their operations. This meant that lean could, and soon would, be applied to service industries, healthcare, and government. As Governor of Connecticut, I am also effectively the state's CEO, and can draw parallels between my role and those of my counterparts in the private sector. As we strive to make state government leaner and more cost-effective in the face of a tough budget and a challenging economy, it is clear that government is not exempt from the same belt-tightening measures being made in corporations and households across the country. Simply put, we know we must find ways to do more with less, while still being responsive to taxpayers. When I took office, I directed all executive branch agencies to implement lean methods to get routine activities functioning smoothly and consistently, and to free up staff members' time so they could focus on higher-value tasks that are more directly linked to meeting the needs of citizens. Connecticut is not alone. We are one of 15 states that have embraced the lean approach, and we regularly share resources and compare notes with our colleagues in other states and in the federal government, and with our partners in the private sector. Since implementing lean methods, we have seen significant and encouraging progress in our efforts to attain a smaller, more efficient executive branch, efforts that, to date, have saved over $2 billion in taxpayer dollars. For example, our Department of Energy and Environmental Protection cut the approval time for coastal projects by half and reduced processing time for 12 of its permits by 74%. Another lean team streamlined processes at our Department of Revenue Services by reducing the levels of management at the agency, eliminating 2 standalone business units, and cutting annual operational costs by $8.25 million, all done without laying people off. Although the implementation of lean at our state agencies is being led by the commissioners, much of the change and improvement we have achieved stems from the input of many hard-working frontline state employees. This is important to note because lean was founded on a profound respect for people and the understanding that when workers are consulted, they become more engaged, enthusiastic, and innovative.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?